Hello, welcome to Core on Signature Reporters live in the city of Oyo, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. My name is Francis Lovechild and I'll be your on-net boyfriend, the one you can always trust and rely on. Today, we are kickstarting the maiden edition of Core, and Core is simply that side which seeks to tell ourselves the bitter truth in order to have a refreshing life. So today we're looking at key vital issues. We're talking about the president's daughter using the presidential jet to a private event, and of course the growing spate of suicide in Nigeria. First we're talking about the core member who committed suicide, and now a married woman who has also committed a suicide, leaving behind a husband and a handsome baby boy. We want to find out what your take is on the issue, and we'll be right back. Okay, now let's quickly go to the issue of suicide, committing of suicides by people. You remember the past 3 to 5 years in Nigeria, we've been, our social media space has been hot with this trendy issue of people committing suicide, preferably, most importantly, young people. What is your take on this issue, considering the fact that we're starting this year with 2 suicides already?
Really, 2 suicides? Truth is, I almost would have been a victim of suicide. So, a lot of time, depression. Like 2 years ago, I almost committed suicide because I went through stuff that got me so depressed. I didn't know who to talk to. So a lot of time people commit suicide. It's true, and but being who I am, being a public person, being a child of God, and I'm like, why do I need to commit suicide? I don't need to commit suicide. Whatever happened will still go away, as in it will pass. So it's just for a while. So there's no sense of committing suicide. So I think to every young person out there, you don't need to commit suicide. Like seriously, you don't need to. Suicide is never the best option because the future is better.
All right, since you've experienced it, I'd like you to tell us a quick in 60 seconds. How were you able to come out of that depression so that you didn't end up committing suicide like most people are doing?
I read my Bible, I pray, and I just try to be myself.
So the core member taking her life, suicide is not an option. Whatever happens, she should have talked to somebody or go for a counseling. Taking a life is not an option, and in the world beyond, she have a question to answer, because taking your own life is an abomination before God.
Young people should know the way they behave. They didn't keep bad company. They have to stay by themselves, struggle by themselves, so that in future they will have something to eat, and not to go here and there, enter company with people and do bad things.
Suicide is never the solution to a problem. It's believed that when people end their life, that's the end of it. But I think when you're faced with issues, you're depressed, talking to the right kind of people actually helps solving the issues. And another thing people will say, what if I don't have the right kind of people around me? Or what if they don't understand how I feel? Everything is about the mind, the mindset. What you believe is what happens. And when you understand, have the full understanding of why you are in existence, that God is the center of it all, and you give all your all those things that you don't really understand, you hand it over to Jesus, and everything would be fine. That's just it. But people don't believe in it, that God can actually take care of everything. So they
those
decide.
People who don't believe, what would you say to them right now?
Believe.
Okay, Rebecca says believe when you're going through the challenges and the tough times of life, and trust God that everything is gonna be okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ademosoyin Damola Samuel. My take on suicide. Suicide should not be something you have to do. Killing yourself shouldn't be an option. If you are depressed, if you are facing anything, you have pastors, you have people you can talk to. So you taking your life shouldn't be an option. Please say no to suicide. That's what I'm going to say. Thank you.
Suicide is actually a very bad thing to do because it has effect on the family. Person taking the suicide, it has effect on the family as well as the society, okay? So if you have a problem bothering you, I believe the reason people commit suicide is because maybe they have some issue that they can't handle that is beyond their control. So I feel if you have anything bothering you, you can share it to someone, okay? So maybe that person can tell you what to do or can have a solution to your problem. So I think committing suicide is not the right option, but rather is actually bad, because considering the fact that your family will go through, pains and, tears in the family. So it's not the right thing to do. It's actually very bad.
A core member committing suicide is something it's a really sad thing. Like when I heard about it, I saw it on social media, I felt very bad. My take on it is that suicide is not good. Whatever the situation you're passing through, look for a friend, have a word with your friend. You can share. A problem shared is a problem half solved. The person might not solve it totally, but then you can get a means. You can get to meet someone who knows someone that has a solution to your problem. So why commit suicide? My own take on it is that it's not good to commit suicide, no matter what the problem is. Thank you.
We were talking about youths committing suicide. I will say that one is lack of employment. So what our government should do is to create employment for our youths who have just graduated from school, or either put up a skill acquisition, so that even those that have not gone to school will be able to get something doing.
It's Call on Signature Reporters live on net, and we're glad to have brought to you the beautiful options and opinions of people on the streets of Nigeria on the two trending issues, talking about the president's daughter taking the private jet to a private event, and of course the issue of the suicide growing in Nigeria. You've heard it from our fathers and from our mothers and from the youths, and including core members. Suicide is wrong, and nothing in life, nothing we face should push us to commit suicide. On the other hand, our father said is a problem. The problem of Nigeria, from the suicide to the president's daughter, is an issue of corruption, and it is spiritual. Whereas our mothers believe to be simply the issue of us giving employment to the unemployed youths, and as this being the reason why many of our youths are depressed. Personally, I've been at that point where I felt depressed, and professionally it is said that it takes at least 2 weeks for people to have that feeling of the lack of self-worth, that feeling of restlessness, that feeling of fealty and guiltiness and all of that, to be termed as being depressed. And within this period of time, you have the liberty to talk to people, you have the liberty to reach out to friends, you have the liberty to let the people around you know what is happening. And you have people around you, you also have to take the initiative to ask people around you how they're feeling, check on them, know how they're faring, in order to help people to not commit suicide. Suicide is not an option. And as far as the president's daughter taking the presidential jet to a private event is the issue, there have been speculations and issues and statements across borders, from the political, from the business, and of course the society at large. Constitutionally, it is wrong, but then some would say she's enjoying the father's luxury. For as our mother said, the daughter of a king is also a king. Stay tuned, we'll be bringing you more gist from the streets in no detailed time.